He inherited a painting with a reputation. They said it triggered nosebleeds, night terrors, and sometimes even worse. But instead of hiding it, he took it to a séance inside one of the most haunted castles in England to see what would happen if two hauntings met in the same room. What followed wasn't just a summoning, it was a confrontation. The painting has no signature, no date, no clear history, just a face. Distorted, skin red, eyes black, mouth twisted into a silent scream. It doesn't look painted, it looks inflicted, as if the canvas itself was made to suffer. Sean Robinson inherited it from his grandmother in Cumbria, North England. She kept it locked in her attic for over 25 years. He said she told me the artist mixed his own blood into the paint. And not long after that, the artist was gone. No one's confirmed the artist's name. There's no record of his death. And the blood in the paint story remains a family legend. But Sean's grandmother believed it completely. She said it was evil. She heard crying in the night. She saw the figure of a man at the foot of her bed. Sean would later report the same thing, faint crying in the next room, even when no one else was home. She warned Sean not to bring it into his house. He did anyway. At first it was just noises, scraping, banging, footsteps on the landing with no one there. Sean's wife began to feel watched. Then, one night lying alone in bed, she felt the mattress shift beside her, as if someone was climbing in. She turned, and no one was there. Their dog refused to go upstairs. Then their young son fell down the stairs, for no reason. Doors slammed. The air dropped to freezing. Once, Sean found the painting tilted just slightly towards the bedroom door, as if it was trying to look through the doorway. No one remembered touching it. His wife became so terrified she refused to sleep in the house. Sean moved the painting to the basement, and the next morning, the room was flooded. No leak, no burst pipe, just water. They brought the painting back upstairs, and the activity continued. Sometimes at night, Sean would wake certain someone was standing in the hallway. It didn't feel like a haunting, he said. It felt like it was waiting. So he tried something different, not to stop it, to catch it. He placed the painting in a spare room, set up a camera, and recorded across several nights. The footage caught more than just banging. There was a faint mist rising from the frame, and later a blur streaking fast across the room. But around 3:25 a.m., the painting tipped forward, slowly, almost reluctantly, and again a thin mist curled into view. Sean didn't try to explain it, he just kept recording. That's when I stopped thinking it was just a weird painting, he said. I wanted to know what it actually was. In 2013, Sean did something no one expected. He took the Anguished Man out of his home and placed it inside one of the most haunted locations in England. Chillingham Castle, a medieval fortress dating back to the 13th century, long associated with torture, violent death, and more than 100 documented spirits. But Sean didn't bring the painting there to be cleansed. He bought it to provoke something. not to test the castle, but to see what would happen when two hauntings shared the same space. He handed it to the investigation team of Mysteria Paranormal, led by John Blackburn and psychic medium Ian Lawman. They placed it in one of the castle's most active rooms and began a séance. More than 20 people were present: veteran ghost hunters, castle staff, historians, skeptics. All expected Chillingham's usual spirits. At first, silence. Then the temperature dropped sharply. The air thickened. Pressure built against their skin. And then a figure appeared, right in the center of the séance circle. Male, tall, human in outline, but its face was blank, like a shadow without depth. Some thought it wore robes, others saw a long coat, but no one saw it arrive. One moment the circle was empty, the next it was already there. The castle staff expected the ghost of John Sage, a 13th century executioner said to have tortured over 50 prisoners a week in that very room. They say he was killed on the rack he once used himself. His presence is usually cold, controlled, familiar to them. But this was something else. And it wasn't passive. The bench inside the circle began to knock, once for yes, twice for no. It was answering, as if the entity had pushed Chillingham's dead aside and taken the room for itself. Then the bench flipped hard, as if hurled by something unseen. People screamed. The session collapsed into chaos. The castle staff refused to let the painting remain overnight. They insisted it was time for the Anguished Man to leave. Later, John Blackburn called it the most disturbing séance of his career. That wasn't John Sage, he said. That wasn't anything we'd encountered before. Ian Lawman agreed. The energy in that room didn't come from Chillingham, he said. It came with the painting. Whatever force they brought into that room, it hadn't come to share the space. Sean never brought it back to Chillingham. He never brought it anywhere again. Today, the Anguished Man is locked away in a private location. Sean won't say where. He's refused every offer to sell it. I don't want anyone else to have it. I don't think anyone else should, he said. He rarely speaks publicly about the painting now, and he hasn't released new footage in years. But when asked if the activity ever stopped, he says no. It's quiet, but it's not gone. He's no longer trying to prove it's haunted. He's trying to contain it. He says it hasn't moved in years, but sometimes when he walks past the room, he still hears it breathing. Some paintings were never meant to be seen. Some books were never meant to be opened. There's one manuscript, half a millennia old, bound in secrecy and written in code, and said to kill anyone who tries to understand it. This is the Book of Soyga. Click the card, step deeper into the archive, and if you're still watching, you're not just curious, you're marked. Subscribe to uncover what was never meant to surface. I'm Nico, and I'll see you in the next mystery.